Have you ever heard of or wondered why Sacramento Kings fans ring those bells at home games? Well, it actually stems back to a 2002 playoff game with the Los Angeles Lakers, where Phil Jackson, the head coach at the time, referred to the Sacramento area as Cowtown, and the fans embraced it. However, the Sacramento region is in the middle of a pretty quiet and actually large transformation, from long-awaited hospital projects, biotech campuses, to major infrastructure upgrades and new master plan communities. Big changes are unfolding across multiple counties. Some of these developments have already broken ground, others are years away, but together they're gonna shape the way people live, how they commute, where jobs are created, and what these communities will look like for the next generation. In this video, we're taking a closer look at 10 of the biggest projects happening right now and in the future, and there's a couple that are not so huge, but truly close to my heart. Hey, thanks so much for checking out our channel. My name is Jake DeRosa with the DeRosa Real Estate team. And as a resident for over 49 years and a broker for over 23, we've helped thousands of families move into the area, out of the area, and relocate here. So if you have any questions, please drop them in the comment section. If you like the content we're giving you, please throw us a thumbs up. It helps us out. And don't forget to subscribe. We also have a free Sacramento area city guide. Feel free to download that and reach out with any questions. With that said, let's jump into the topic today. One of my favorites, just because I guess I live in the area, I'm from the area, and absolutely love the area. This is going to be the Fair Oaks Village redevelopment project, located in Fair Oaks Village District, right along Fair Oaks Boulevard. Now, this project is a $23 million project funded by Measure J, and really targeting streetscape, parks, and the amphitheater upgrade. Some of the development features is enhanced pedestrian zones, widened sidewalks, bike racks, benches, modern lighting, and as well as kids' playground areas that are being built into this master plan. The park and the amphitheater, I don't know if you've been to the park, however, if you have, they hold concerts in the parks, they have events in the parks, and it's always been a really cool venue. But what they're doing is upgrading everything, specifically the amphitheater and the areas around it. Some of the improvements include concrete amphitheater stairs, ADA upgrades, new irrigation, new sod, clubhouse interior refinishing, and it's gonna be able to use a lot of that facility year round. So it's gonna be a major improvement and have really cool concerts there in a really cool venues. And excited to see this project come to life, if it comes to life. Now, it's massively in progress stages of building, so it will come to life, but some of the building stages have been concrete, plumbing, electricity supposedly wrapping up by late July. Sod and plantings continue post-July for the park launch. And the slated official grand opening is for late August. Now, the full closeout's expected in October. The thing is residences are cautiously optimistic, as in myself. This project has been a very long project. It started in the fall of 2020. So we'll see if they can adhere and stick to the timelines. Some of the community response has been that the businesses are worried about the modernized look that's coming with it, because if you've been to Old Fair Oaks, it has an old town feel. And what it's supposed to do is surge in foot traffic, surge in community events, tourism, and really benefiting the local shops and the businesses in the area. And there's some really cool shops over there. There's Shangri-La, you got Jay Hilburn, their studio. They have a brew house over there. They're actually building a new brewery, which is supposed to have rooftop dining and a kind of a brew bar area. So it should be a really cool project coming. And it's just a really quaint area. want to tear Fair Oaks into a really small town destination. I don't know if this project does all that, but it will actually revitalize and make it a cool little place. So I'm excited for that. Number 2 on the list is Aggie Square UC Davis Innovation District. This is a huge project and it's big for a lot of reasons. First off, it's located on the UC Davis Sacramento campus, which is in Oak Park, East Sacramento. The entire project is going to encompass 25 acres. Phase 1, there's multiple phases of this project. Phase 1 is supposed to cover about 9.5 acres, adding about 1.25 million square feet of building space and an additional 550,000 square feet of parking. Some of the features that have been already done, because phase 1 opened up, phase 1A, is they created 330 square feet of office space there with life sciences, STEM labs, classroom tower, co-working, public plaza, and student housing. The full build out is supposed to include additional research towers, residential units, ground floor retail, public spaces, and green infrastructure. Pretty massive project coming down to that area. And the timeline for this is, like I shared, phase 1 actually opened in May of 2025. And the future phases, which includes the labs, the housing, the retail, will essentially roll out as tenant leases finalize and funding becomes available, likely through the late 2020s. So you may not see this thing fully built out until, gosh, 5 to 7 to who knows how many years. A lot of these projects tend to have holdups or different things like that. So some things that's cool about this is that the economic and job impact it's going to have in the community. So the phase 1, just the construction created about 12,000 to 15,000 jobs. It generates about 1.9 to 2.6 billion in economic impact. And the post build out is expected to support about 3,200 to 5,000 permanent jobs, generating 2 billion a year locally and 5 billion a year regionally, which is a pretty big deal, bringing jobs and income and community into the area. Some considerations that they had for the community environmental was a $50 million community benefits agreement, which includes hiring local, which is huge, workforce development, youth programming, and affordable housing. CEQA review highlighted minor impacts like air quality and traffic. We'll see how minor that is, and mitigation measures they put in place. Advocates in the city, they really emphasize that mandatory local hiring and community input to mitigate gentrification risks. But there's going to be a lot of biometrics happening and research, cancer research, and just really kind of building out that Oak Park area. So pretty excited for this project to, once it's fully finished, to see how it is, and definitely want to get over there to check it out here soon. So number 3 on the list is a Roseville Parkway extension. This project's already done, it's finished, and I'm going to share a little bit of the details on it and really ask if it's helped. So this thing was built over connecting Washington Boulevard to Foothills Boulevard in Northwest Roseville. It's about a 1.5 mile corridor featuring a new railroad bridge that went over Industrial Avenue and the Union Pacific tracks. Some of the features that they put into this thing was a 4-lane roadway, 2 lanes each way, Class 2 bike lanes, separated multi-use path for pedestrians and cyclists, landscaping, sidewalks, pedestrian lighting, and structurally sound overpasses and modern intersections with the traffic signals. So what we're seeing here is that one of the things that was cool was the cost was about 27 million, and it was entirely funded by developer traffic mitigation fees with no use of city general funds. Now that has to do with the fact that these developers are developing over into another project that we'll talk about, PlacerOne. However, being able to provide the infrastructure is usually some things that these developers have to do. So that was nice to have that, but at the same time, something that was necessary. Began in late 2022, and it's open as we speak right now. Early 2025 it finished, and city officials shared that the project finished ahead of schedule and under budget. So what's it do for the economy and the community? It significantly improves the east-west connectivity, easing backups on Blue Oaks, Baseline, and Pleasant Grove corridors. That's where I want to find out from you. Have you been seeing that traffic easing, or is it business as usual? And it promotes active transportation with bike lanes and pedestrian infrastructure. And finally, it unlocks commercial and residential development, increasing the density of development and enhancing access to the Fountains, Galleria, and Highway 65. Feedback we've heard is the residents cautioning about vehicle speeds on the new stretches, asking about traffic calming, speed limits, buffer zones, especially near commercial driveways. They've had some issues, and their concerns on noise levels, the sound walls. The city included landscaping barriers during construction. Not sure how great those have been working. I'd be curious to hear from you if that's working out well or what that looks like. But this project is finished and it does help development in the area.
So you're thinking about relocating to the greater Sacramento area? Well, I've got just the thing for you. Our team has actually taken the time to create the ultimate relocation guide, which is meant to save you hours of research. And I've linked it down below, from top employers, best hospitals, best schools, and a ton of other things that you need to know before making the move. The best part about this guide is it's 100% free. That's right, 100% free. Just click the link in the description or the top pinned comment. Hope this helps.
All right, fourth on the list is PlacerOne, formerly Placer Ranch. So this is located in the unincorporated Placer County between Roseville and Lincoln, and it's part of the 2,213 acre Placer Ranch specific plan, now branded as PlacerOne. Some of the features of this is that Phase 1A has been approved, 7 residential villages with 760 single family lots, 4,000 to 7,000 square feet each, plus 4-acre neighborhood park, 3 pocket parks, and a 14.8 acre of open space. The backbone infrastructure includes new roadways, widening Fitiment Road, College Park Drive, and water and sewer and the storm drains, normal infrastructure things. Phases 1B and 1C will provide an additional 1,024 residential lots, multifamily sites, an active adult community, and the first site within the town center. So it's going to have its own town center and all those things that it needs. The infrastructure is underway right now. Model homes are expected by Q3 of 2025. Phase 1B will be roadwork finishes in late 2025, home build beginning in July, closing in spring of 2026. Now, Sierra College Stack State Placer Center, 300 acres in design phase right now. So they're expecting to put college campuses within this master plan community. They have an educational site. Construction will be following current approval. So a lot of cool things happening in there. The economic and job impact at full build out, it's gonna have 5,600 new homes, 3 million square feet of commercial, R&D space, K through 12 schools, and a ton of recreation space there. So pretty cool development coming into play. The forecast is to generate 55,000 jobs across education, office, and industrial sectors. So they're expecting quite a few jobs to be impacted by this. And the builders out there are going to be KB Homes, JMC, Taylor Morrison, have already purchased lots, and Taylor Morrison actually acquired 201 lots in just last month. So expect all the major players out there. You've got the Lennar Homes, I'm sure will be out there, various different communities. So CEQA certified that under Sunset Area Plan, public outreach is ongoing via Placer County neighbors. They receive regular updates with contact emails for nuisance reporting. So keep your eyes out if you live in the area. And at the end of the day, that'll bring in a lot of new homes into the area and a lot of new potential jobs. So keep your eye on that master plan community. Another master plan community is actually one of the largest. This guy is called Plaster Vineyards, and partially it's already being built out. So it's located a 5,230 acre master plan community in West Placer County, bordering Roseville, Rio Linda, and North Highlands. So plan includes building out a staggering 14,132 homes, 274 acres of commercial space, 919 acres of park/open space, and 6 elementary, 2 middle, and 1 high school. So this is a massive area being built out. Think Folsom Ranch magnitude type things, just in a different area. So they have master plan, roads, utilities, SMUD and PG&E coordination. Timeline: vertical home construction actually began in 2024. Full build out phases projected through the 2040s. So this isn't a small project. This is an ongoing project, which is also nice too. If someone were to come in, I don't know if they could accomplish this, and just throw up a bunch of houses, that would not be good, especially that many houses in an area. Development impact fees fund new infrastructure, including roads, schools, and park, expected to stimulate commercial job creation, long-term economic growth. So a couple things is some environmental considerations. The original EIR addressed impacts to farm life, wildlife habitats, and with significant mitigation required. So they had to go through a lot of things to make sure that they weren't impacting that at a high level. And this project, you already have some being built, the 55 plus communities. So definitely a thing to keep your eye on, and keep your eye on out in the West Roseville area, because that area is absolutely going crazy right now. Number 6, this is the 34-mile connector called the Capital Southeast Connector, and I'm pretty excited about this one. This one is a 35-4-mile limited access expressway connecting I-5, so Hood Franklin out in Elk Grove, to Highway 50, El Dorado Hills, and Grant Line and White Rock roads. So this is gonna make it much easier. I don't know if you've driven on Grant Line Road. It's a 2-lane road, and if you have car troubles, it gets ugly quick because it's no shoulder, anything like that. So this definitely will help out. They're widening it to 2 lanes on each side, 4-lane road, and grade separated intersections. The other thing cool is they have bike/pedestrian infrastructure, wildlife crossings, and noise barriers. So you're gonna see bike lanes being able to bike, so it gives another path down that way. I don't actually bike a ton, so I wouldn't even know how to get down there from Grant Line. But hey, if you're a biker, that could be a good thing. So there's already projects in actually different areas that are already done. You'll see it, you go there, it's 4 lanes. There's a turnabout that slows down the traffic and different things like that. So as it's completed, it is being rolled out. There's multiple stages under construction. Estimated completion and time frame is they're building this through 2025 to 2030. And each phases are opening as each segment finishes. So what it estimates is a $1.8 billion economic output with $770 million in labor income over the next 20 years, thousands of jobs, and supports freights and logistics. So gives them a better roadway to get from Elk Grove out to the El Dorado Hills. And you see a lot of construction trucks already on there. I remember growing up, when I bought a house out in Vineyard, and coming out, this area was very small. Let's just call it that, right? And that was 20 years ago. I would drive up it was Grant Line, and it was by the Anatolia, and that thing was such a nightmare. So it's been interesting to watch the development. Actually, that would have been Sunrise, but it's been interesting to watch this area grow. Rancho Cordova is growing huge. In fact, we're going to talk about this Braden project. So this is just going to help out connectivity, hopefully get rid of some of that traffic by allowing other ways to go. Who knows? With all the growth, we're still pretty congested. So basically another thing, supports new housing developments like Folsom Ranch, Rancho Cordova, and the upcoming Braden project. So
now for the question of the day, where are you from? I want to know who's listening, who's watching. Would love for you to leave your answer in the comments below. I want to hear what you have to say. Also, if you have any questions or thoughts, you can leave those in the comments too. Even better, just shoot me a text, call, or email me. My information should pop up below.
Number 7, this is a pretty interesting one, controversial for sure, and it's essentially the rail yard projects. This has been an off and on struggle for years. Sacramento Railards, it's the 244-acre infill site adjacent to downtown Sacramento, Amtrak, and the River District. So if you've driven down the freeway, you've probably seen it. You can see it off 5. It's the big tower, big construction area that they're working on. And it's one of the largest infill redevelopment projects in the US, basically turning a former rail yard into a mixed-use neighborhood. So it's a really cool project on paper, and I'm excited to see what it does. Some of the planned components include 6,000 or more housing units, 12 to 15,000 seat soccer stadium for the Sacramento Republic. Now, this was on track years ago, and then the people pulled out, and then the tribal groups got involved as well, and now they're the ones building that soccer stadium. However, they're seeing some pushback coming through, which I'll talk about in a minute. It also will have Kaiser Permanente Medical Hospital, which is actually under construction. It's a 1.5 million square feet place of office, retail, and hotel space. They'll also have Riverwalk parks, bike paths, and new civic spaces. You're going to see one of the things that they have planned is to keep the industrial brick look. So from the early 1900s, if they do that, that should be a cool add to the area. The timeline on this, Kaiser Medical Campus has actually already started construction, and with a little bit of ongoing issues, they've said that it doesn't matter about anything happening on that side of things. They intend to progress their campus. So Republic FC Stadium is back in planning after the 2021 fallout, like we talked about. City proposal passed the council in June of 2025. Additional phases, including housing and retail, are slated to begin late 2025 through the 2030s. So another big project. The economic and job impact construction output itself is about 8.2 billion. Projected annual output about 4.4 billion. It's supposed to create up to 24,000 long-term jobs with 2.1 billion in wages. Stadium alone is estimated to bring 800 construction jobs, 49 permanent stadium jobs, and 1,000 match day event roles. So think bartenders, think stadium people, think all those. Now, there has been some political pushback. In fact, last month, there were protests out there opposing the city's approval of $27 million in public funding for the stadium. Demonstrators led by labor unions, housing advocates argued that the deal prioritized sports over urgent community needs like affordable housing and tenant protections. Protesters threatened to gather the 37,000 signatures needed to place the stadium deal on the March 2026 ballot, potentially derailing or delaying construction. If that happens, you may see the stadium investors pull out. They don't want to wait, they don't want to sit around, so you might see that happen. Key activists, some of the quotes that we saw, they're rushing this deal without community input. Taxpayer money should go to people, not profits. The fiscal impact on this is 27 million city subsidy, part of a broader 92 million public financing package. City argues the stadiums will unlock hundreds of millions in private capital, anchor job creation and tourism, help Sacramento reestablish itself as a major league city. So you got the city pushing back on the public. We'll see how this kind of goes and how this fight takes shape here coming up probably in the next couple months. Backers claim the long-term revenue from the project, property taxes, visitor spending will far outweigh the initial public investment. I would think so. I don't know all the specifics financially, what their projections, but it seems that it could very well do so. People are asking for affordable housing requirements, job protections for local workers, community benefit agreements similar to those in Aggie Square. So they're wanting to get some people that are getting hired from local, which is smart. I like that idea. And also some job protections, things like that. I really like the deal that Aggie Square did. So this is what they're pushing for in this development. Again, we're kind of in that limbo, and some of the protesters actually went around, and there's two housing facilities around their housing areas, and they actually went door to door knocking on those projects, getting people's signatures to get that 37,000 signatures. So we'll see what happens with that. Keep your eye out and see if that thing gets delayed, derailed, or pushes forward. Next on the docket is the UC Davis California Tower. So this is on the UC Davis Sacramento campus, adjacent to Aggie Square. It features a 14-story patient tower and 5-story pavilion, totaling about 1 million square feet. The cost of this project is $3.7 billion with a B. Some of the features is going to add about 332 private inpatient rooms, a new emergency trauma center, surgical suites, imaging, and a rooftop helipad. Includes seismic upgrades required under SB 1953. The timeline for this is groundbreaking was in October 2024. Estimated completion is around 2030. So you can see these projects that we're talking about are pretty significant timelines, but it really impacts how the shape of everything's going to come and what it's going to do for real estate. I'll share some information on what I feel what's going to happen from that. Economic and job impact, hundreds of construction jobs, thousands of permanent roles across medical and support staff. It strengthens their position, boosting adjacent real estate in Elmhurst, Curtis Park, and Tahoe Park. As you start getting these Aggie Squares and these desirable job opportunities and people coming in to work there, it impacts the real estate areas all around there, including prices, including things like that, as well as availability too. So could increase or could impact rent prices, could impact where you're living. So a lot of impacts happening there, especially with all the job creation that's happening. But to grow, you got to have the job creation. So we're seeing a lot of these areas, Folsom Ranch, West Roseville. This is a couple big projects downtown where that is constantly changing as well. And where Sacramento area is really growing on that spectrum as well. Dignity Health Hospital, Folsom Ranch. This is another cool project. Central to the 11,000 home Folsom Ranch master community. This project is going to be the first full service hospital in Folsom city limits. What it's going to have is an ER, inpatient units, outpatient surgery, and adjacent medical office buildings. So huge impact as far as putting and providing awesome medical care into the area. So the timeline right now, site grading and utilities underway. Construction is expected to begin late 2025 or 2026. And that could create more desirability of that Folsom Ranch area, especially with the 55 plus communities. A lot of those potential buyers are looking to be into those areas where they have the health services that they need and they're close to the hospital. So definitely the desirability should pick up on that aspect. Now, it provides core healthcare access to Folsom, Rancho Cordova, and El Dorado Hills, acts as a regional anchor. So once this thing's done, it will enhance the surrounding area and, like I said, probably housing values there.
Guys, it's Jake. And as much as I love making these videos, there's one thing I love more, and that's helping families and people from across the U.S. make the move here to the greater Sacramento area. I've helped countless families make that move. So whether you're coming out next week, this week, next month, or even next year, don't hesitate to reach out. My contact information is right here on the screen and linked in the description in case you missed the on-screen pop-up. I look forward to helping you and your family move out to the greater Sacramento area. Cheers.
All right, wrapping up the list is Braden. This is an interesting one, and I was looking at the project and looking at the documents for this. So this is formerly Cordova Hills. It's located in unincorporated Sacramento County, just south of Rancho Cordova along Grant Line Road. Now, this is one of the things that the corridor, the 34-mile corridor upgrade infrastructure is going to support. So they had to get something in there to support traffic, support all those things. So this is a 2,667 acres, let's call it 2,700 acres, with development approvals dating back to 2013, so 12 years ago, under its original name, Cordova Hills. So this is a project that's been in the works. So it's designed as a 10-minute town, is what they say, where homes, schools, parks, retail, workspaces, transit are accessible by EV shuttle, bike, or walking. So they're trying to make this where you literally can go anywhere you need to go within 10 minutes. Now, don't expect this to happen as soon as they break ground, because the infrastructure is definitely not going to be there, but it's a pretty cool plan if it comes together. So the expected build out on this is 8,000 residential units, a mix of single family, townhomes, condos, cottages, and initial inventory about 900 plus homes coming online, estimated by July 2026. So 1.3 million square feet of commercial space, including offices, retail, restaurants, and civic amenities. They're gonna have 75 miles of trails and bike lanes, 6 mobility hubs, and 4 Elk Grove Unified School District campuses, K through 8. So pretty big development, pretty big area. They're also gonna have a town center. The first phase is gonna include a 43-acre town center, walkable streets lined by shops, cafes, community gardens, and 5-acre public green. Mixed-use office buildings that will offer live work units, office, retail, co-working, and childcare. So this project's, again, like I said, trying to offer an all-in-one town into Braden. So design is led by internationally recognized firms such as HDR, Calthrop, and Lake Flato, whatever that is. And some of the sustainability and that they're looking for is it emphasizes green infrastructure, 35 to 36% of it being open space. They're looking to put an EV shuttle transit, tons of bike networks, and minimal reliance on cars. Don't know if that'll happen. I don't even know how we get the cars. I mean, even if I lived in that neighborhood, I'd probably want to go somewhere else too. I don't know. So Grant Line Road, with that widening of $25 million federally funded project to integrate Braden into regional transportation. So let's talk timelines. Officially broke ground in 2024. Phase 1, town center, 900 residences, first schools, expected to be completed by this time next year, so July 2026. Build out will unfold incrementally with full residential commercial phasing spanning the next decade or more. And again, long-term projects, and again, even if there's going to probably be some holdups, depends on what happens with everything, permitting, community, things like that. This was interesting. Some Reddit resident questions was viability to current infrastructure. With no infrastructure, no light rail, it will not work. At least 20 to 30 years out from such, quote, green initiatives. Others appreciated the car life. Again, will the car life be successful? Not 100% sure, but they're gonna offer a really unique sprawl, dense, walkable, and a sustainable, that include amenities that support life and work balance. They're gonna add about 8,000 homes, 1.3 million square feet of commercial space, several schools, south of 50. So really, when it's all said and done, you're gonna see Rancho Cordova kind of not be able to tell the difference all the way into Folsom Ranch. So that south of 50 area is definitely growing huge, and in these growing stages, we'll see how that kind of comes along. Who knows? I don't know. I mean, again, it's 20 to 30 years out for this thing to happen, but it's definitely going to shape a lot of things happening in the real estate world. It will shape home values. It will shape, older communities should get an uptick in values from new amenities coming in, new communities, A lot of different cool stuff happening in the Sacramento area. So if you want to talk, where are some specific places that you think you want to move, or have some questions about where the best place to move is, reach out, DM us, shoot us a text, shoot us an email, and please drop the like button, subscribe. Hopefully you made it this far. Cheers.